Alrighty, Nazos, you want to start us off as you usually do with the Roadmap Roundups?
Sure, because I totally have that open right now and wasn't completely focused on what we were just doing. Because so I played Starfield, and I won't have another time. The earliest I'll be able to touch it again is Sunday on stream. So sad. Okay. So, as we are to do, we do like to read the headers if we're reading directly from any Star Citizen documents. That's right, we're talking about Star Citizen. I forgot this was a Star Citizen stream. Anyway, so this one starts off. We're going through the August 7th, 2023 Roadmap Roundup. It says, Happy Wednesday. I almost said Happy Everyone Wednesday. Every 2 weeks, we accompany the roadmap update with a brief explanatory note to give you insight into the decision-making that led to any changes. This is part of an effort to make our communications more transparent, more specific, and more insightful for all of you who help make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 possible. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into this week's Roadmap Roundup, the CRG community team. Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, so
This is a
right
fun
here, August 7th. Right here, August 9th. It was... Yeah, it was August 9th was when that Wednesday was. Interesting. Huh.
Oh, weird. They just screwed up the title a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so for the August 9th, so literally almost, we're coming up on 4 weeks ago.
We're so good at our job.
Yeah, we're been busy. I mean, I was literally out of state for an entire week, and I worked several days up to leaving, and then several days after leaving. So it was basically almost 2 weeks of me not only either not being geographically available, but also being busy before and after. So release view. So they added physicalized cargo updates to the release view. The following deliverable has passed its final review. Therefore, we are toggling its status to committed for Alpha 320. Physicalized cargo updates, adding new functionality to accommodate the release of the Mist Hull C. This includes both automated cargo unloading at LEO stations, low Earth orbit. That's essentially every station that is above a landing zone city in Stanton, as well as SCU containers up to 32 SCU. And this does include the ones between 1 and 32. We have seen those in the PTU. This has its own card on the release view, but the work was wrapped into the sprints on the whole C. So you're not going to see a deliverable on the progress tracker for this.
Yeah, and physicalized cargo and cargo updates were caught in between the... There goes the words. Basically, where Seiji was naming it Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3 kind of things, and what they're doing with salvage being it feature-based. So, hull salvage Tier 1 turned into salvage hull scraping, and salvage Tier 2 turned into salvage vehicle munching. So physicalized cargo is an older one, where physicalized cargo is a tile technically, but they moved a lot of the features. It was now physicalized cargo, which was kind of rolled into the whole C, and the next feature for it is freight elevator. So that's how those all kind of fit together.
Soon TM.
Do we still have physicalized cargo as a uncompleted deliverable? That I didn't check.
Hold on. I'll open it up and look.
Let's see who gets there first. Load, dang it. Ooh, it didn't show up at all.
Gameplay. It is committed.
Yeah. I'm talking about on the RG. Physicalized cargo. Oh, they removed the tile. Wasn't physicalized cargo a tile?
No. It was never a deliverable.
Oh, it was cargo system refactor. I swear they said there was physicalized cargo as a tile at one point.
Oh, and they misspelled retrieve and retrieve consignment.
how is it spelled? Is it TRE?
Yep, TRIE.
I said okay. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Says cargo. Nope, that's systems. That's still systems. I have two things of the same thing. I have too many tabs. It's okay. Give me a second. Roadmap Roundups. Nope. F. There we go. That. Find all. There are none.
F's in chat. F's in chat.
Nowhere did it mention physicalized cargo.
Nope. Jake specifically said there isn't a separate deliverable. It was just work rolled into the whole C.
I wonder if there's one in monthly reports, which I don't have the database set up yet.
I don't know.
Because I swear they said physicalized cargo before they started talking about 320.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were talking about, what they had to do more containers and stuff like that, but
they specifically said physicalized cargo in some context not relating to 320. I don't remember what that context was.
Okay.
That's my only point.
Progress tracker.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I lost the page. There it is. Progress tracker. Sorry. With this update, we wanted to make you aware of a few upcoming team changes on Star Citizen. To better support upcoming tasks and to accommodate the development resources coming in from our Montreal studio. Our Montreal studio. No longer the Turbulent studio. It is now the CIG Montreal studio. The USPU gameplay feature and systemic services and tools teams are now being reformed into a pair of new teams. So 3 teams, 2 teams. These teams will be NAPU gameplay feature team and the Academy team.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Mike. Tell me again they're not working on the Academy. Tell me again they're not working on the Academy. Say it. So sick of people saying they're not working on the Academy. Like every stupid update has some tweak to some number in the Economy. Got it. The majority of the USPU and the FT task will be given to these new teams, with a few going into other teams. We'll have more info on their deliverables and their schedules in the future, but for now, we're updating the USPU and SST's schedules to the end of Q3. Additionally, we're also introducing the vehicle gameplay. This team will have a focus on the universe and its vehicles, with our existing vehicle feature team remaining on Squadron 42. All 3 of these new teams will be on the prototype very soon, but we want to give you an early heads up. Thanks.
Is Discord voice activated right now, or do you have your just mic open?
Open?
I don't know. You keep on getting cut off.
Oh my gosh, Discord, please.
So this news is really huge. So I tried to find the link, but in one of the Star Citizen lives, there was a mention that they were building another. They were adding another gameplay team to the US, and so Aetherdrift says, Naz is randomly cutting out for a second every so often. And so we know that they are hiring more people for the PU gameplay feature team. The PU gameplay feature team is the team that takes, first a team will build the tech to allow for a gameplay feature, and then they'll build the feature itself, and then the gameplay feature team will take those features and build them into a holistic gameplay system. So when we're talking about things like mining, salvaging, things like the hole scraping and the hole munching, the new bounty hunter system, all those sorts of things are under the purview, basically, as the different disparate features that are part of that gameplay come together. They're cobbled together by the gameplay feature team, who then does all like the balancing and such before it goes into game. And so a couple months back, they did mention that they are hiring for the gameplay feature team in the US, which, if I remember correctly, is in Los Angeles. And it sounds like now they're not only hiring in Los Angeles, or maybe just hiring more in Montreal, but they were planning on expanding that team. And so this is rolling into that. So there's going to be gameplay feature team people in Montreal as well as Los Angeles, and they are hiring for that team in order to get gameplay features into the game. Well, why is this important? This is this team in particular is the team that will be bringing in a lot of the things from Squadron into the PU and testing and balancing it and implementing it. So, and they have been working on a lot of the things that Squadron has been working on that have started to be ported over and are being slowly introduced, to Star Citizen. And so them adding more people to this team is a good thing, because it means that as these things are completed for Squadron, things like your Mantle Tier 2, your EVA Tier 2, the all your player interaction system stuff, a lot of these different systems will be able to be brought online in a more expeditious fashion, because they'll have more teams within this team in order to tackle more deliverables for bringing them into the PU. And then the economy team, well, obviously that's amazing, because that means that, hey, they're specifically saying that systemic services and tools are going to be really dedicated to the economy team, or to working on the economy. Now, why is that's a little bit even more interesting to me, because calling them the economy team and not systemic services and tools makes me wonder if there's going to be another team that's going to work on the tools and those people will get named or something like that, or what. Because not everything for Quantum is economy based. There are a lot of things that are AI service related. And so it makes you wonder how much progress are they making on those things? Where would those still fall under the economy team, even though it's not named after that? Or are those things going to be done in a relatively soon type fashion, where SST is going to be focusing on the economy after that, after getting in like the AI related stuff for Bounty Hunter V2? Don't know. I'm just going to have to wait and see. As far as the getting their schedules soon, I think soon probably means at the end of Q3, beginning of Q4, because we haven't seen anything since, and this is a month ago. New vehicle gameplay feature team, hooray! Like, that's a big deal, because these are the people that will be taking the flight model and master modes the wheel vehicle improvements, and hopefully eventually tracked vehicle improvements. But the things that are being built in Squadron, your flight model, master modes, these are the people that will be bringing those things over from Squadron into the PU again. And they are building these teams up in order to take what they've built for Squadron and make it, not only bring it into the PU, but make it work for the PU. This is because these teams do a lot of the balancing for these features. That's how that's where that occurs. And there's balancing that occurs obviously for Squadron, but the balancing for Squadron is different than the balancing for the PU. Pardon me. Nazeris, you got anything to add?
Only if my mic is actually working.
Sounds good to me. I'm going to dial you up a little bit.
Just put it back to what it was.
Hmm?
I just put it back to what it was when I joined the call and you said it was Teddy.
Well, you don't sound tinny anymore. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. So why don't we look at the Delta report for that roadmap update first before we go to the August 23rd roadmap roundup?
You want me to change so many windows, sir?
That's why the links are in the OneNote.
Yeah, but how I have everything set up. So, okay. Yes, I sound fine on stream. All right. Okay, I can stop hearing an echo now. Yay!
Hooray!
I sound still stuffy, but it's fine. Delta report for. That's going 7.9. Yeah, 7.9. Okay, sorry on there. Apparently, I hadn't closed it yet. Interesting.
Yeah, don't know why this occurred with the deliverables removed, deliverables added, but the only thing that changed, I think, was the number of tasks. New mission steal evidence, mission feature team one design dev had 3, now they have 1. And
I wonder if it was like
content.
a clerical thing, and maybe like switch teams, or the team was like rebuilt or something, and so they had to
I don't know.
delete it and add it again.
Could be. Either way, nothing removed, nothing added, but we had some deliverables. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one.
Whoops. Yeah, you are. There you go. That's right. Which one were you looking at?
I was looking at the one for the 26th or whatever that was. All right.
So they do it again on the 26th.
Yeah. So for the Delta report for August 9th, so they added the new mission steal evidence, which
again.
Yeah. I hope that this is one of those things where, yeah, it could just be them prototyping it with Security Post Korea, but man, I want other security posts. And I want these missions at other places. Like, let's branch out a little bit. This update was if I remember, it was the last of the upstream or downstream work, right? Getting added? No, last of the upstream.
Tell you.
Or sorry, yeah, last of the downstream. Because it's I don't remember. I remember when I looked at it, but yeah, they added a bunch of work, and it's mostly squadron stuff.
So that's a lot of downstream, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the Q2 or Q3? Oh, that would have been Q2. Last of the Q2.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2. Because we're late. So yeah, that would be the rest of the Q2, wouldn't have been?
No, it would have been the rest of the Q3 update for downstream. And some upstream, it looks like. But anyway, at least I'm glad to see that they're adding more work to actor status tier 2, because in the previous updates, work had been removed from it and there wasn't any work going on. And so they've scheduled more work for the active feature team on actor status tier 2. And actor status tier 2 is a pretty big update that I'm looking forward to. Looks at a variety of new elements such as hygiene, NPC status tracking, multiple bytes, DNA integrity, medical insurance, cybernetic limbs, and cloning. So it'll be really interesting to see how that work comes along.
I would hope we get a nutrition system.
Mm-hmm.
To make cooking.
You need to stop eating candy.
Well, what's to make a player choose to work on cooking or to just grab the meal bars?
Mm-hmm.
What gives high scale restaurants, because they talked about high scale restaurants in the building interior video. Or I think it was CitizenCon, whatever it was. what makes those high skill restaurants necessary? Are they just food with set dressing, or are they higher scale gets you higher nutrition, and nutrition is not a necessary number, but you get a little bonus for your a little bonus to like how good it heals or does saturation because of the quality of nutrition it. I should do how I design on that. Making a note.
So they removed some of the work for the USPU gameplay feature team, which is now going to be the North American gameplay feature team for Bounty Hunter V2. Obviously, there's still a lot more work going on for the landing zone and mission feature teams, but you can see it ends right here. It was supposed to essentially go out to here. So when they get the new schedule for the North American gameplay feature team, they'll probably add in work for Bounty Hunter V2. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, of course. Bug fixing and tech debt, lots of chapter work, of course, on Squadron. And let's get down here. So cutting tier 2, glad to see the weapon feature team added more work to cutting tier 2. That's good to see. I wonder if the cutting tier 2 work is in any way, shape, or form associated with the work on the physicalized damage system that they're working on, the Maelstrom. Yes.
What was the first one? To Maelstrom? Hold on. Better Hunter V2 Maelstrom. Remind me again what Maelstrom is.
Maelstrom's the physicalized damage system, the physics-based damage system.
Yes. Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay, cutting tier 2, they're adding, the weapon feature team added more work. So essentially the weapon feature team is the people who, work on the weapons and the features that they do. That includes, the handheld cutting tool. And maybe we'll get a ship-based one as well, but they're adding more work to cutting tier 2. So that means that the system that the cutting tier 2 will interact with has been getting enough work where they are able to continue to work on the feature regarding that weapon or those weapons or tools.
I would really like to get an episode or a CitizenCon presentation, something, because the last time they explained specifically cutting tier 2, they said it's a free form cutting, but it will only certain surfaces. So my brain instantly went to Portal, where you can only portal on specific surfaces, but it's free form. So far, the only cutting thing we've seen is the cutting tier, little lock like things where you cut through.
Yeah, and
I want to see what tier 2 is like. It can you break something like a wall down or part of a ship off, or is it going to be a much more situational, like I through a fence? Like what's their scale of gameplay they're looking at applying this to?
Yeah, like I automatically go towards cutting through doors, in order to breach. But like, what if it's not a door? What if you just want to cut through the wall?
Yeah.
Can
doors
we
have
do
manual
that?
overrides?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could do it that way, or you could just cut through the door.
Or you just cut through the door. Close the blast doors.
That's peak sci-fi. They've jammed the mechanism. We just cut right through, and
lightsaber.
Yep. Weapon feature team adding more work to the ammunitions and distortion propagation. Character art getting done for dusters and enemy characters for Squadron. Ooh, the fire extinguisher. So that's weird when it says end date has been extended, but they freed up 2 days of work.
Sorry, for which one?
For the fire extinguisher. And the date is in the past. So I don't know.
As far as I know, isn't fire not done? That's the wrong word for anything in Star Citizen. But like,
they made a lot of progress. I mean, it looked good the other day on the VFX.
The way they were talking about with the VFX ISC was just everyone else is done with it. This is us just, making it look pretty.
Yeah, it is fire. The fire propagation system it seems to be online, and they were waiting until it was essentially done for them to do the rest of their VFX work to make it look pretty. So I'm hoping that we'll see more of that soon. But the fire propagation system is tied into the room system and the atmosphere system for resource management. So hopefully they're going to pick up work on the fire extinguishers soon, because we're going to need them if fire's coming along.
Mean, I can't imagine that it's not done though.
I don't know. I mean, the asset is probably done, but
that's been
this
done
is one
and
of the
done
things,
again.
Yeah, how fire extinguishers are used, what the VFX looks like, the sounds and audio. There could be more work for that. We don't know.
It says all tasks required to implement functioning fire extinguishers in game. This feature will work alongside the fire hazard system. And then the bar currently ends in June.
Yep.
Ended in June. I don't know. I think whatever is necessary for whatever first version of Fire we have, I would venture to say that would be done.
I'm just looking forward to having it.
Picking stuff off walls, kind of like Starfield.
Yeah. Start fire, put out fire. Start fire, put out fire.
And we're going into pyro. So pyro, fire. Pyro means fire.
Yeah, I want to get the firefighting skill in the new fire system. So I'm just going to game the system by starting fires and putting them out. Yeah.
Oh my.
Freight elevators, people will be like, oh, they took work off. No, this again, the US gameplay feature team turning into the NA gameplay feature team. This work will be added back on. The question is, will we see freight elevators before the end of the year?
I mean, it says freed up work, but still goes out to December.
Yeah. Well, for the Landing Zone 2 team. So
okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So
yeah,
but because it was the gameplay feature team working on it, it's not systemic services and tools anymore, or audio or other teams. It's the people who are getting ready to implement the feature into the game and make it work, alongside with the people placing them in the landing zones, EU Landing Zone 2 team. So
I think 4.0 might be way bigger than it is.
Gosh, I don't know. It's hard to know, because I feel like we're going to get a 321, and 321 is just going to be remember when when 315 was its own branch, and then they did 316 for the Q4 patch, and it was on the 315 branch, and they just added in some features that they couldn't get in the 315.
If we get another 0.5, but actually it's its own major number, regardless of the stuff that goes into whatever patch that is, I think 4.0 is not going to be really finalized. As far as finalized go, I'm pretty sure they're going to try and get an Evocami build with server mesh by the end of the year.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure of that at this point. But I think 4.0, the 4.0 update, is going to have resource management. It's going to have obviously server meshing and pyro. It possibly will have actor status V2. And like there's these bigger kind of things that are in this weird is it done state. They're in a late stage, but we don't know if they're done. And I think 4.0 might end up being really big if some of those things coincide. Like even just server meshing and management, like it's insanely huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very anxious for CitizenCon. Like it's.
Oh yeah.
they've
you and me both.
held so many things off. It's good thing we have 2 days.
Yeah, so many things that have had so much work that has been worked on, like right here. Map and radar system rework. They have been working on that for ages and shown us nothing of it. If they don't show us the new star map, I'm going to have a stroke.
I really hope that the haters of CitizenCon demos did not sway what they show at CitizenCon demos, because I love, and I keep getting a stronger opinion as I talk about it. I love CitizenCon demos being holistic, this is our goal type video. A lot of people are like, CitizenCon demos are never really thing because it's in CitizenCon demo. One, basically everything from the Microtech demo we got, except for the mission and the lab coat. I think everything else is in. NPCs walking on ships, that's in. The Carrack is in. Pyro is in. Like, the only thing that's not in is the mission that they went on. And Pyro, but that was a tease for Pyro anyway. But if they were able to make, and what were we just talking about? Oh, a map. The maps they do. If they were able to bring together every part of the game that's in a showable state into a demo, so mapping new UIs, MFDs, UFG, UFG, new ship, NPCs working, Pyro. Like, if they were able to take all the technology that's like in a showable, not a done, but a showable state, and put that into a demo, oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. I hope they do some sort of goal, not this is what the 321 is going to look like.
Yep. I think 321's going to be a good patch to hold us over. I think that I think 321, obviously, we're not even confirmed that we're going to get one. I think we're going to get one in order to hold us over while 4.0 is going through its paces. But I think 321 is going to have vehicle tractor beams and the cargo elevators, freight elevators.
I think we're going to get, before the end of the year, we're going to get, either it's major or not, a point patch, because they've already confirmed a point patch is coming.
Yeah.
And that's...
Well, I know we're going to get a point patch for CitizenCon. We'll get a point patch for IAE. I just think that we'll get another patch on the 320 branch. You know, that way they don't have to do more work for it.
I think we'll get one more major patch, whether that be by the end of this year or beginning of next year, because server mesh, or not server mesh, 4.0 will take forever. And it's going to be a big patch. It's going to take a lot of time. And it's going to be that, it's going to be in PTU for 1 or 2 quarters. So if they just give us the 320.5 for Q4, with the several points in between, that will lead up to a good amount of content, plus CitizenCon, plus IE for the end of the year, and just leave that for the end of the year. Q1 next year, we get the 321, and then Q2 next year, we start to see if we can get either a pull patch where they did what they did with 319, see if forward, or do we stick it out and wait for 4.0? Like, that's currently what kind of seems like a good idea to me. Because 4 is going to take so long. 4 is going to take a long time. So, yeah, I don't really doubt there's another patch. Another whole patch. I just don't know if it's going to be this year.
Mm-hmm. The squadron, or the map and radar system rework, got a lot more work added. And obviously they're just filling it all the way out to the end of Q3. So this isn't when it's going to be done, but the fact that they've got that much work scheduled from the feature team and the UI feature team is good, because it's not UI tech, it's the UI feature and the Squadron 42 feature team. So this is... Yeah, Shiori Katsuni, we're just talking about the potential for a 321 as like a Q4 patch. So having the Squadron 42 feature team, working on the UI just means that the map and radar system, they're playing with it, they're using it, they're balancing it, they're saying, hey, we needed to do this, hey, we need to do that, this doesn't work very well, adjust this. That's what you can get out of that work.
comparing the Star Citizen and Starfield is just going to be an ongoing thing with everything Star Citizen right now, and Starfield probably. But and I don't know if this is a thing. I couldn't find a button for it. Is there an interior map for buildings in Starfield?
The lack of a map was driving me nuts because
Okay, so it's not just me. Okay, I'm like,
Yeah.
even if there's a fog of war on the map, I should be able to pull up where the flipping hallways went.
Yeah, you pull up the map and it's just a bunch of, it's a dot pattern. And okay, there's something over here, something over here, something over here, but there's no terrain.
It doesn't zoom
there's
in
no,
far enough. Like,
it doesn't show you anything on the map.
okay, so it's not just me. Okay, good. Because like I'm like that's the planet. I need the area, like where I am, the building I'm in. Like that is not a hard system. Come on.
Shori Katsuni,
anyway.
they were aiming for 320 to be out earlier, so it's a moot point. And who knows how long it'll take to get through PTU. I think a couple more weeks, but
I don't know if either of us has seen that video access.
Seen what?
Apparently there was a Chris Sandy video posted to Bilibili, which apparently is like
I'm waiting for a reliable
like
translation.
Like every like major place, like conversation area that I see, somebody's bringing up something that was said by a YouTuber. I'm gonna call them YouTubers on Billy. A Billy tuber. I don't know what they're called. Content creators on Bilibili. Basically, it's the. Is it Chinese?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
We'll just call it Asian YouTube for now because I don't know which origin it is. But dang, he is picking up some serious steam over there.
Shori Katsuni, when I say 321, I say just another whole numbered patch built on the 320 branch. Just like they did for 316, which was built on the 315 branch. Just like 319 is this, just a whole numbered patch built on the 318 branch, where you have way less QA to do in order to get the patch out. You're just adding in things that were already being built on that branch and are built on that code branch. And then you're just, hey, these weren't done. We're going to add them in now because now they're done. Like the vehicle tractor beams. Vehicle tractor beams we're going to get into that right here when we get to that part of the sit rep. But the vehicle tractor beams are very far along. And they were probably targeting a 320 release, but aren't going to make it. And we already know that they were targeting the SRV release later this year. And so it just makes total sense. Hey, couldn't make it for 320, just needs like 2 more months, 3 more months, whatever.
That's the one I thought of.
Then they can get it. Yeah, vehicle trespassing. Then they can get it at 321. Not a whole new, brand new giant patch with a whole bunch of other features or anything like that. Just a whole numbered patch built on the previous branch. It's essentially a 320.x, but with a feature that was already well into production. This whole year has been scuffed with what they're planning, and at this point in time of the year, I'm in full doom morale that we ain't getting shit this year. I don't think so at all.
We got PES. The entire game changed.
Yeah.
Nobody gives that, or not. Sorry, not nobody. Not enough people give that enough credit. Like, your crap stays around. You go find your body when you.
Yeah.
When it actually spawns correctly, but like, that's crazy. We have on ground firefight with MPs now. That was again this year.
It's CR said this of what he was hoping for, and it's like, okay, great. He said that the year's not over yet. 320 isn't even out yet. We know that certain things are being worked on,
and
I'm not too worried about it. And with what they're going to show us at CitizenCon, it might not be in this year. It'll be close. So it's whatever. Like for me, I'm excited for vehicle tractor beams and the variants that we're getting.
The thing I'm most excited for
I think we're going to see a 321 just because it's going to be a 320 patch. It's going to be a 320.x named 321. That's what I'm saying. Just like 319 was a 318 patch. 316 was a 315 patch. It's just going to be a whole numbered patch built on the same branch.
The thing I'm most excited for tractor
Yeah.
beams is actually not the vehicle tractor beams themselves, but the nerfing of the hand tractor beam.
Nerfing of the hand tractor beam, giving me the two-handed
Because-
tool.
Yeah, the industrial one, like I appreciate the vehicle ones coming in their place, but I'm so tired of the do it all gun that is the multi-tool.
Yeah.
So sick of it.
Speaking of the multi-tool, there's a military multi-tool in Squadron.
Yeah, yeah, I really like that. Like, there's a Moby Glass. There's a military Moby Glass. Like, it's super cool. There's a military. Too bad there's not like an army and a navy variant, or maybe there'll be like different skins for them. Because I'd love just like to have some like army versus navy pissing contest, and just like when we have a blue one, when we have a camo one.
Yeah.
Like,
so the mission manager app, gameplay feature team free to work. It'll get put back on once they put the new team on there. I'm looking forward to seeing this new mission manager app, especially because we're getting all these new missions and all these new missions are in production. Oh, that's the other thing in 321. More missions. They'll just add in more missions because they can put in new missions at any time.
The platforms would be in that as well.
Well, the platforms are still scheduled for 320.x, but there's if you look for the it said they're still tentatively scheduled for 320.x, but if you look at the sprints for all the new missions that they added at the previous roadmap roundup, they all go out into mid Q4 for the most part. So there's a good chance we could see a number of new mission types added either during the 320, either in the 320 branch, if like 321 is part of the 320 branch. Moby Glass rework, mother of God. That and the map and radar system. I guarantee you they're going to show us that at CitizenCon because they've done so much work on it. This is what I'm talking about.
Write down my wish list.
Yeah, your wish list
for CitizenCon.
The NPC
like
scheduler service.
One of my biggest features of I don't even know why I said feature, but things I want to happen at CitizenCon is not necessarily something that happens at CitizenCon. It's something that they say is going to start happening, and that's the return and the regularly scheduled monthly briefing room.
I would not be surprised.
They have all this tech that they're like, this is for Squadron. Can't touch it yet, not till it's done. The card system, the map system, new vehicles, variants of vehicles, locations, conversation systems, pathing systems, optimizations, X, Y, and Z. Briefing room. Like, the first briefing room was so good. It was so good. And I just want that. And monthly, because I want it to keep that quality bar. That, like, hey, we're talking about a whole feature. Not, here's an update on X feature. Of a whole feature. I really like that.
But the NPC scheduler service being worked on by Systemic Services and Tools, they had 27 days worth of work. It'll get added. Will it get added to the economy team?
Dun, dun, dun.
Will another team get made that will handle these sorts of things? Because is that really the economy? Is it or
I wonder if all the
do they call that
NPC
the economy?
AI stuff is going to be given to the AI teams, content feature tech teams. Because once the AI tech team is done with Squadron, then they don't need to really work on it at all ever, and they'll have very little work for episode 2 3. So unless they make the tech team go away, it would have to be Star Citizen AI tech. So that would make sense if they give NPC scheduler to the AI tech team.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's tech for the AI. So that's my current hypothesis on the single paragraph that we read. That anything that doesn't fall under economy would be given to AI, because that's the system that it touches.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like all the systems, and they've said this in many shows, all the systems have hooks in all the other systems. So everyone has to talk to everyone. It's just who owns it.
Let's see. So
Plasma.
Yeah, plasma ammunition. More work for weapon feature team. So the weapon feature team was just finally getting their schedule.
Do we have weapons for all these new ammunitions, or are the new weapons, or are we going to need new weapons made for all of these ammunition types they've been working
Never
on?
said. I don't know. If there's mention of it, I'm not aware. I mean, like,
just give me my
plasma,
bolt
I would
guns.
assume is like an energy cannon type thing, maybe, but we don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it's also sticky.
Yeah.
Normally, when you see plasma, they're sticky, so it will hit well, if it's a ship gun, it will hit the side of the ship and then like gel, and burn the whole of the ship. So it's much more of a hit the surface and burn the surface
melt armor
instead of. Oh yeah. But when I think plasma, I think more of a surface damage and not hurt the inside. Like you take a lot of its health out, but you don't damage the deep parts of it. Unless it's
it doesn't penetrate.
Plasma isn't that what we already well as in lasers? No. Light lasers are different than plasma cannons. Plasma is a substance. Well, it's a state of matter. Lasers are light. So it's two different states of the matter. No, light's not a state of matter, is it? No. Plasma is a state of matter. Light is light, and bullets are solid state of matter.
Larger weapons of this type will also leave behind a hazard, causing further damage to anything in close proximity.
That was the plasma
This will fulfill the original vision we had for the plasma weapons we already have in game, and those we have planned in the future. Okay, so we have plasma-based weapons. They just don't do plasma ammunition stuff.
We have plasma weapons?
I don't know. Cannons? I thought we had plasma cannons, but they don't do anything different other than cause X number of damage. That's the other thing they need to show us a lot more of at CitizenCon is the new player interaction experience, because there's tier 0 through tier 2, and they showed us some of it last year, and there's definitely a lot more to share. That's the big thing with like 4.0. Everybody's all about server meshing and pyro. Really what we need between now and 4.0 and 4.1, 4.2 is adding in all these new quality of life or factors, tier 1, tier 2 of this and that, to make the game feel like a more finished and polished experience.
Yeah, for sure.
The map and radar system, the Mobi-Glass and its apps, the HUD and AR markers, the visor and HUD helmet, the MFDs, all those things are such huge quality of life things and functionality things that will make such a big difference in how you play the game that it'll feel like a much different game compared to last year. Even if it's still buggy and there's still desync, it will look and play like a much different, much more polished game. And that because it's basically taking, hey, here's how you interact with the game for a finished game like Squadron, and porting it over into Squadron or Star Citizen, and then you still have desync, but at least the way you play the game is more polished and finished. What we can expect going into the future, not what we have now is not what we're going to have in the future. We're past that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So the only plasma cannons in the game are Vanduul cannons. So they only exist probably in Everything Commander on the Vanduul ships, if not the Asperia-esque Vanduul ships. There we go. So all they're called is Warlord Cannon and Wraith Cannon.
Yeah. So nothing new of note, just the work coming off in order to go back on when the new teams come up there for Pyro, the quantum simulation. Active feature team added more work for seated item handling. That'll be so much fun once that's in. There are so many cool ground vehicles. Yeah. Sliding movement, space mines. Okay, so this is another one of those things with the weapon content team. It's like a late update. They removed some work on that. So hopefully we'll see work added to space mines in the future, but it sounds like it's shelved for the time being. Squadron 42 vehicle support. This is just them polishing and doing gold standard work on the vehicles and ships in Squadron. Again, virtual AI service. Does that count? Under the economy? Are they going to put that under the economy, or is it going to be something else? Or is this hey, this is what we had planned for the rest of it, and then that feature is going to be done other than polishing, and we're moving on to the economy? We don't know if that's some sort of signal about the quantum simulation. But yeah. So let's move on to the roadmap roundup for August 23rd. So that was that last Wednesday? Yeah, last Wednesday. Not 2 days ago Wednesday, but the week before Wednesday. So Nazeris, why don't you go ahead and take us away? And there's not a whole lot to this one. There's nothing on the Shiny Tracker, so.
Oh, because this is no. Oh, I see what I did. I see what I've done. How he has the things laid out on Shiny is it's if on the page topper things, the links to forward and backwards, it's delta scheduled, delta scheduled, delta.
Yep.
It's not, you can't just click through, you can't use those to tab over the reports or the scheduled deliverables or the delta things.
Two of them.
It's both. Yeah. That's the same thing. Were there two? Did I thing? No. Do the thing. Gosh dang it, I changed Windows again. Podcast. There we go. All right, we're now doing the August 23rd. There we go. We did it. I did it. I found the button. And you want me to read which one? Which part?
Roadmap Roundup 823.
You want me to read the same header again?
Yeah, if you want.
Okay. All right. So
consistency, man.
This is the. Yeah, I figured we'd just read the one for all three if they didn't change it. So, sure. Again, this is another document straight from CIG. So, happy Wednesday, everyone. Every 2 weeks, we accompany the roadmap with an update, with a roadmap update with a brief explanatory note to give you insight into the decision-making that led to any changes. This is part of an effort to make our communications more transparent, more specific, and more insightful for all of you who help make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 possible. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into this weekly roadmap roundup. Notable changes for August 23rd. Release view. The following cards have been added to the release view in the 320 column, targeting a launch with Alpha 320 and X. Not Twitter or Elon's son, 320 X, and they don't know what it is. He makes them so easy to hate. He makes it so easy. E1, we know. Stop. What?
Well, so the A1 is on the release view. It's scheduled for 320.x. Now they are adding the C1 for 320.x as well. And
which is interesting. Because we've done the reports and we know the C1 is a step or two behind the A1. Mm-hmm. While the A1 went into final art, the C1 was finishing gray box, I believe.
Yep.
So that's 2 steps behind. So that gives us a good timeline on how late they're thinking the 320 branch to go.
Yeah.
If the A1's not even in yet.
Yeah. Well, the A here we go. So roadmap. Put that right there. And release view. Ships and vehicles. Wheeled vehicle handling improvements. Tumble Storm. Crusader C1 and A1 Spirit. Hull C is the only one that's committed along with the wheeled vehicle handling improvements. But in previous, when they added the they did add the in the roadmap roundup where this was added, for July 26th is when they said the A1 would be for 320.x, whether that's CitizenCon or IAE, who knows? Probably doesn't matter because it's literally only 3 weeks apart anyway.
Yeah.
Because CitizenCon is towards the end of October this year. But so these are the vehicles we know of for. The latest monthly report. I want to say, or the last time we heard about the A1, it was in final art. I don't remember if it was Lot Zero or they were even farther beyond that. But the C1 is now in the more recent monthly report. Actually, I've got here. Let's see. That's July. Let's see. C1. There we go. The Crusader A1 progressed through final art with a handful of LODs remaining for its interior and exterior damage. This is the July monthly report. Work also continued on the C1 Spirit cargo variant, with the main differences being minor exterior changes and the cargo room, the latter of which is currently progressing through gray box. So the rest of the ship is has very little different, and so that's they're working on that, and so basically the cargo room's in gray box, but the rest of the ship is largely done, other than a few things. So it's really not far behind, essentially a step. And this is as of the end of July, so over a month ago, and we're still over 2 months out from IAE. Ooh, 1.3 minutes of ads. Sorry.
Wow.
So let's see.
So
they're
it's really interesting.
Yeah, they're so unreliable with the ads. So,
are we gonna be talking about funding? You keep pulling up the funding.
I'm gonna get to that here in a second. So
okay.
I
keep forgetting. I'm trying to say because traditionally the CitizenCon patch, or the patch right after CitizenCon, is 1, good for content, 2, big on ships. Whether that be new ships or ships we knew about just releasing, normally it is big on ships. Whether that comes in October, November, December, whatever comes after it, traditionally, last 3 years, it big on ships, like 4 to 5 ships, like plus. So if we have these 3 already on the roadmap, and they are notorious for saying, no, we're not talking about CitizenCon, I would venture to guess that would be the 21 patch. With like, hey, here's 5 more ships. And then the balance teams are just over in the corner crying. They have 5 more ships to try and balance.
IAE is going to be thick with new ships, because not only is it new ships, but also ships with variants. We know there's a crap ton of variants in production right now. Yeah. So
Jack's return.
Yep, it's going to be really interesting. So,
what's our freaking honesty, Jax? You stole a prototype. How dare you?
Yeah,
he stole it, then blew it up. Like, I hope Misk keeps good records.
So there isn't anything added for the change for the progress tracker on the Delta report for the August 23rd Roadmap Roundup, but I wanted to bring up the CCU game really quick before we get into the sit rep. And so this is obviously the thing that tracks this is the funding tractor on CCU. We just crossed over the $600 million. We're just over $601 million now.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
yep.
And I wanted to bring this up because obviously for August 23rd, they said C1 Spirit Tumble Storm added at 320.x. So, IAE most likely, or, and or around that time. Along, we've got the A1, the whole C is going to be going on sale, of course. We know that there's a bunch of variants in production and unannounced. So there's going to be a lot of new things for sale at IAE. Yeah, so I agree, Shiori Katsuni. I think we're going to be very light on concepts, because the other thing that's really interesting to me is, let's see. If we go down here to vehicle concept art, they ain't had nothing going on with this team in forever. I asked Jake about that, and he's like, "Yeah, aren't when there aren't new concepts being made right now, at least by concept art, as in like there are unannounced things in production, plenty of those, but this team has not had any new work in ages. So I don't know what's going on with this team, but we do have unannounced things in production.
That's we are still supposed to get the stupid medium RSI miner.
Large, but yeah.
Large? It's a large miner?
They said large, yeah.
Dang.
So, you've got this one for the EU vehicle content team. This is back here. There's unannounced things that are in production or have been in production. So it'll be interesting to see. But we, in the monthly reports for the last couple months, they've been talking about a lot of variants, and so I think we're going to see a lot of these variants at IA. I guarantee you, we're going to get 2 variants at CitizenCon, the cutter variants. Sorry, spoilers. But I guarantee you, we're going to get more variants at IAE, and not just what we're talking about with the A1 and C1. But I wanted to bring this up because a lot of people have been talking about like the funding and CIG. The people. There's a lot of doom scrolling for that guy who got laid off. Well, there's literally 2 guys that got laid off, and one of them was a marketing guy whose job got moved to the U.S. and he didn't want to move to the U.S., so they laid him off. He wasn't, not for downsizing. The other guy was a QA position that was getting moved to Montreal. Got laid off. So not a big thing.
And neither of them was salty about it.
No, not at all. And
so,
it was just restructuring, given that they acquired Turbulent. That's totally normal for large companies. And it sucks, a couple people get laid off because their job is now redundant.
A lot of the concept guys, well, at least for the art side of the concepts, not the design, are freelance. Like a lot of the people who come in for the concept art is freelance.
Gavin Rothery.
You can see that because if you go on ArtStation and find the concept work, 1, they're all freelance. 2, they've worked on several games, notably both Star Citizen and Star Atlas. Like almost every person who's done a Star Citizen concept art in the past 8 years has also done ship concepts for Star Atlas. So spaceship talent is apparently, well, Star Atlas is still also trying to like copy Star Citizen word for word, but anyway, it's fine. But yeah, they're freelance and they can be hired once the designers say, hey, here's a new ship, go do. Another note that I had for the funding is altogether, not including this month because this month's not over, so we can't have the numbers correct. We are at -8% for the entire year. That is not significant. Not significant at all.
We're -8% off of this year, which was up over 33% from this year. So everybody keeps looking at 2022 as the bar, what we have to beat. Because if CIG doesn't beat this, then they're in trouble. No. If you go back and you read the financial report for for 2021, you see how much money they made. They made a profit. They were in the black for this year, and they made $86 million on ship sales. Plus, they have other revenue. Basically, they had over $100 million come in 2021, and it was like 130 something million all total in 2022. Well, their operating costs didn't skyrocket up by 33% in that year. CIG was not expecting these sales for 2022.
Yeah, they paid a lot of taxes that year.
Yeah, this is why they bought Turbulent, because in order to shelter some of that money, they bought Turbulent, and acquired them and brought them into the fold. And now so
you can't sell promises, but
yeah,
EA's a pro at selling promises and then not delivering anything. So like, you can definitely sell promises.
But
I still buy concepts. Everyone still buys concepts. the people who don't buy concepts are a minority at this point.
Yeah.
Like, even if people are buying at release ship, most of, and CIG has said, like, they really would like to stop selling concept art, but they sell, so they keep selling them. They would like to transition to the point
There is
of
less.
Yeah, they would like to transition to where they're not doing it anymore, buying them. So they try to kind of stabilize a bit with, here's a concept art, but here's a straight to flyable, and try and balance.
There are far few concepts now versus straight to flyables. Or if they do release a concept, it's, hey, here's the concept. It's already in production though.
Right.
Here's this concept. It's
they haven't
in
done
white
that.
box, gray box.
I mean, they didn't do it with the honestly, they didn't do it with the Expanse. There's been a lot of concepts coming out in the past 3 years that
I wouldn't call that a
still
lot though.
concepts.
That there's only been a handful compared to how many have been released or are in production.
Yeah, that's true. More have
compared to years prior.
New concepts has been coming out than in years prior. Yeah, and they've been working on their backlog a lot. Like, I keep going back to that the image of the release ships by year kind of thing. I keep going back to the image. They're doing pretty good on their backlog stuff, and they keep working on the Polaris. Is supposed to be in like full production now, so that's going to be another tick off the box. The Idris is basically done at this point. Hull CD and E, no, D, KB, CD, D and E, B, D and E are just the same as the C, so they're probably not going to work on that until we get at least another system. There's no need for them. We know where the Endeavor is. We know where the Javelin is. Where the Orion is like the jewel on top of the mining system. So once the mining system is mature, they'll put that in. Like, we know we're waiting on two-wheel tech, which is behind very busy people for the Rangers. The G12 is kind of an odd one because we don't really know why we don't have the G12 yet, because it's Ursa/Cyclone type chip just again.
Oh, I bet you the G12 will get put into production next year, just to say that they did after the X1 is done. Because it's
I wouldn't be shocked if it's one of the same devs or the same dev.
Yeah.
No.
One of the
no.
Give it to one of the new content teams. So I wanted to bring up the CCU game real quick because I think IAE is going to be huge just for the amount of new ships and the number of variants, because variants sell really well. But I wanted to remind everyone that this is not the number that CIG needs to beat in order to be in the black. Plus, it's actually a lot larger because they have other monies that come in.
Not to mention, like, look
this
at 19.
Number,
19 was good.
It's this number 20. Plus about 15-20%. And so, like, say 20% of $86 million, that's 16, and we'll call it 16 and some change, so it'll be a little bit less. Well, that puts you at just over $100 million right here. So we don't need to get to 110, 130, whatever it ended up being the grand total. We need to get to that sort of split the difference point right here in the middle, because this is about how far their operating costs have grown with the hiring that they've done since the end of 2021. Look at where we are compared to 2021 at the same time. As of the end of August 2021, they were at $44 million or so.
I think there's still a chance to close the gap. I think there's still a chance to be bigger than last year.
I don't think it'll be bigger than last year. I think it's going to be close. Yeah.
There's 2 announcements at CitizenCon that could absolutely make people buy every.
Yeah. Oh, it could. It very well could. I've just
shockingly complete state and a release date for Squadron. If those things happen, they're going to beat last year. Easy.
I don't know if they'll beat last year unless they start doing, even with pre-orders for Squadron, I don't think it's going to make a ton of money. I think the big thing will be IAE.
No.
And I think that they have all these variants scheduled for IAE to make a lot of money. But either way, they don't need to beat this number. It's important for them to beat this number by a percentage in order to stay in the black and continue this normal trajectory, because they had this. Yeah. This year is an anomaly. This is the trajectory that they were planning on. Obviously, things went nuts going into 2020, But in 2020 is when they made those plans for their hiring, for Manchester and everything like that. And they were making those plans based off of this trajectory. Well, this trajectory got all thrown off right here. So they had extra money, so they bought Turbulent. They're expecting this trajectory to continue to here. And so they went from 78 million to 86 million. That's a 10% increase. 10% increase of 86 million over that would be, close to 100 million. So that's right about here. Say it's a little bit more. That's totally doable, because in August of 2021, they're at 44 million. Here we are at the end of August in 2023, and we're at over 60 million. We're $15 million ahead from then. And we have beaten 2021 for almost every month this year, other than this last month. And going into September and CitizenCon in October, and then IAE, I think we're just going to absolutely smoke 2021. So we'll just have to wait and see. But the doom scrolling is totally out of context, because people don't look at the funding track or the funding tracker. People don't look at the financial reports. People don't know how much CIG costs to operate.
And I'm not necessarily even saying that the pre-orders are going to close the gap, but for some reason, when Star Citizen gets wins, its money in whatever area, whether that be ship concepts or items being bought, goes up.
Oh yeah.
So if they have a win saying announcing Squadron, I'm not saying that the money they get for Squadron orders are going to go up, but people will buy ships because the overall trust in the company kind of goes up, gets a big boost. And so that makes people buy stuff. For some reason, numbers go up.
Yeah, if CitizenCon is good, if CitizenCon is what everybody is a appreciable fraction of what we all hope it is, I think that they're going to give 2022 a run for their money, because we're literally we're just over 60, just over 60 million. At the same time last year, we were at 66 million. We're only 6 million behind. It's really not that
8%.
big. Yeah,
8%. That's all we're behind.
Yeah. And last year did not have an in-person CitizenCon that was 2 days long. We could easily catch up. So everybody, just wait and see. Hold on. So let's get on to the sit reps. So